The galaxy knew the Devori Empress by many names. Starweaver, Thoughtbinder, the one who commands minds. Generations of rulers had sat upon the mind control throne, an ancient relic rumored to be crafted by precursors older than written history. Whoever touched the throne could bend consciousness itself. Whole armies dropped their weapons. Entire species knelt without being asked. And the Empress? She wielded it with the ease of breathing. When the humans arrived in her empire, fragile, soft-skinned newcomers from an insignificant blue world, she expected no challenge. Their diplomats trembled before her. Their soldiers bowed even without realizing why. Their leaders lowered their eyes. Drowning in the haze of obedience, her throne radiated. So when the young human servant was brought to her court, a thin, quiet man named Elias Ward, the Empress barely noticed him. She simply assumed he was like all the rest. The grand hall glittered with psychic luminescence as the Empress extended a thread of mental influence toward him. A gesture so effortless, she hardly thought about it. A gentle whisper, a subtle push, a command embedded inside a thought. Approach, kneel. Every species she had ever encountered, from war-bred Guarani to iron-minded, Regulus, and obeyed instantly. Elias did not. He only blinked. The Empress frowned. She strengthened the command, letting more of the throne's power wrap around him. The air hummed. Psychic light swirled like sheets of living silk drifting through the chamber. Still, Elias remained standing, calm, steady, almost puzzled. The court gasped. The guard stiffened. The Empress's third heart kicked in her chest. She leaned forward. "Human," she said softly. "Did you not hear my command?" Elias held his hands behind his back. "I heard," he replied quietly. "You did not obey." "I didn't feel the need to." The words rippled through the chamber like a meteor cracking stone. For the first time in years, the Empress felt curiosity, and something colder, something she had nearly forgotten: uncertainty. Her throne could snap a starship captain's will in two, yet this human stood before her with the relaxed posture of someone listening to distant music only he could hear. She tried again. She pushed the throne's influence at him, with the force she normally reserved for entire fleets. The living metal veins of the throne pulsed. Psychic pressure crashed outward like a tidal wave. Her courtiers staggered. Her advisors clutched their temples. But Elias only breathed out slowly, as if bracing against a strong wind. And then, the impossible happened. The throne's influence slid off him. Not resisted, not countered, not fought. It simply did not attach, like trying to command smoke, like ordering the sea to hold still. "Impossible," she whispered. Elias shrugged awkwardly. Humans don't always respond the way people expect. That understatement carried the weight of an empire's undoing. In the following days, the Empress tried everything to understand him, not as an experiment, but because something in her ancient soul recognized the significance. She asked him questions. He answered simply. She tested his limits. He didn't boast, didn't break, didn't fear. Instead, he listened to her, not as a worshiper, not as a servant under command. He listened like someone speaking to a person, not a living deity. No one had done that in decades, and for reasons she couldn't comprehend. It eased a tension in her chest she hadn't known was there. Every morning, as dawnlight poured through crystalline panels and lit her throne, room in shades of violet and gold, she found herself asking Elias to stay after court ended. And he did, not because of the throne, not because of fear. He stayed because he wanted to. That simple truth shook her more than any rebellion. One evening she asked him, "Why are humans immune?" He hesitated. "We're not immune to everything, just complicated." "Explain." He thought for a long moment before answering. "Humans are born with conflicting instincts. Fear pushes us to run. Curiosity pulls us forward. Anger makes us reckless, but empathy makes us pause. Logic says one thing, emotion says another. Inside every human there's a tug of war." He tapped his temple. "Maybe your throne doesn't know which part to command." She stared at him, stunned by the simplicity and the depth of it. Her throne was built for species with unified minds, predictable minds, ordered minds. Humans were storms. The throne could not command a storm. As days turned to weeks, she found herself asking him more about humanity, their art, their stubbornness, their maddening optimism, their ability to keep moving forward, even when everything said they shouldn't. "You paint your stories in emotions," she said one night, "and bleed your failures into your victories." "That's kind of our brand," he replied with a soft smile. Nobody in the galaxy had ever smiled at her like that. Not with fear, not with awe. Just warmth. She didn't know how to respond, so she kept him close, not as a servant, but as the first being in centuries who treated her like something other than a symbol. And then came the day everything changed. A rival warlord launched an attack on her capital, exploiting rumors that the Empress's power was weakening. Her palace shook with bombardments. Shields flickered. Smoke curled through the halls. Her throne fed on her fear, thrumming with hungry intensity. Yet in the middle of the chaos, Elias found her not on the throne, but standing beside a cracked pillar, staring at the damage with trembling hands. "Are you hurt?" he asked. "I am the Empress. I do not get—" A blast cracked the ceiling. Dust rained over them. Elias stepped in front of her. Instinctively, without thought, without command, he shielded her with his own body. The throne couldn't force such loyalty. No psychic command could fabricate such instinct. This was choice, pure fragile human choice. In that moment, amid fire and destruction, she realized why her throne failed on him. Because humanity could choose courage even when fear made sense. Because humans didn't obey power, they responded to trust. Because humans were not ruled by one instinct or one emotion, they were ruled by all of them at once. A chaos of the heart that no throne could dominate. Her defenses broke, not physically but emotionally. "What are you doing?" she whispered shakily. "You could die." "Maybe," Elias said. "But no one should face this alone." Those words hit harder than any enemy strike. For all her years of absolute rule, she had lived entirely alone, surrounded by devotion yet untouched by understanding. Until now. When the attack ended and the warlord was repelled, she returned to the throne room with Elias at her side. The palace staff whispered. Advisors exchanged terrified glances. They had never seen her without psychic radiance glowing around her. She dismissed them all. The throne pulsed behind her, eager to reclaim its place, eager to bend another mind. She looked at Elias. "Your people," she swallowed, unused to the rawness in her voice. "You withstand what should be impossible. You resist what no one has resisted, and yet you protect even those who have wronged you." Elias offered a gentle nod. "We're not perfect, but we try." The Empress touched the arm of her throne, then slowly withdrew her hand, shocking herself. "What would you call a species like that?" she asked softly. Elias breathed out, thinking. "Human," he said. "Just human." Something warm unfolded in her chest. Not conquest, not dominance, not fear, understanding. A sensation the throne had stolen from her long ago. She stepped away from the throne entirely, turning her back to it for the first time in her reign. Her advisors gasped as she spoke the words that would echo through her empire for generations. "From this day forward, humanity is under my protection, not my control." And then, more quietly, meant only for him, "And for the first time in my life, I choose this path freely." Elias smiled. "That's the human way." She nodded, feeling the truth settle into her bones. And for the first time in her long, storied rule, the galaxy's most feared empress felt something like peace, because she had met a human, and humanity, untamable, unpredictable, compassionate humanity, had changed her in ways the throne never could. And in that moment across the stars a quiet realization rippled. For the first time the galaxy understood what it truly meant to be human. Otro. If this story moved you, subscribe for more human stories from the stars.